Governor Makinde flags off Oyo 1 billion naira micro, small and medium enterprises development scheme. Governor Seyi Makinde recommissions the expanded security control room and city watch facilities. It says the crime alert platform will help tackle insecurity in the state. Economies around the world are fighting the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Nigeria is not an exception in this regard. Even before the outbreak, the outlook for the world economy, and especially developing countries like Nigeria, was fragile, as global GDP growth was estimated to be only 2.5% in 2020. The possible way out staring all state governments in the face at this point is to look for stimulus package to serve as local post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan. For the Oyo State government, this drive has again showcased the ingenuity of this administration, as it has rolled out a stimulus package targeted at the small and medium business owners under a 1 billion naira micro, small and medium enterprises MSME Development Fund to ameliorate the economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We're here today to flag off our administration's 1 billion naira micro, small and medium enterprises MSME Development Fund. The injection of funds into small and medium scale enterprises is part of our post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan.
So, a symbolic presentation has brought these beneficiaries to the government house to be presented with their checks, having satisfied all legal and legitimate requirements for anyone to be considered for the loan.
When we talk about MSME,
Governor Makinde, while doing the symbolic presentation, said the government is aware of the effect the partial lockdown has had on small and medium enterprises, hence the need to assist in all ways possible to revive them as well as create jobs when the shop owners are empowered.
Injection of funds will serve to revitalize the economy. So we're therefore continuing this scheme that will, one, stimulate entrepreneurship as a key component of our administration's economic expansion drive. Two, the scheme will target the growth of MSMEs in the state for an enhanced GDP. Three, this scheme will create more employment opportunities for people of Oyo State. We're making this intervention through the Oyo State Investment and Public-Private Partnership Agency. We've seen situations in the past where such schemes they revolve around the people that are in charge of that scheme. We've tested the data that we met on ground, and we decided to take a different approach.
Mr. Olarinde Olakole is into block making. He says the loan will assist him to get more equipment needed to help in the production of more blocks and will afford him the opportunity to employ more hands.
I'm very grateful of being the beneficiary of the loan through the SMS scale loan Oyo State. And this loan will go a long way to expand my business from where it is at present to the expansion of the business. Loan will help me to buy more of my machine and the cement and sand with stone, the materials we are using to produce block, to have the product on ground and to convey it immediately to the site of the consumer.
The story is not different for Adeniji Ruth Fawzet. 2 years down into her organic herbal soap production, lack of funds has hindered her business from meeting the requirements for business registration. She is grateful to the Makinde administration as this fund will solve that challenge.
We use this money to expand my business, especially it has been my yearning that I want to have a company, and which I'm working towards it. And this is Daradeb African Black Soap. I'm working towards having it register with the NAFDAC. So with this money, I'll be able to use the money judicially to buy the necessary things that I need for the production and the materials that I will need for the production. And this will make me to have more people. I'll be able to employ people that will be working under my company, and I pray that I will not disappoint the Oyo State government for doing this for me.
For these beneficiaries, it was a joyous and surreal moment, as they could hardly believe their eyes. The Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Development Fund by the state government is expected to be disbursed through microfinance banks at a single-digit interest rate to facilitate the growth of MSMEs in the state. This obviously is another feather added to the cap of the Oyo State government. While many are still grappling with recovery plans, Oyo State government has shown that the welfare of its citizenry is a priority. Agribusiness forms a vital part of Oyo government's program to ensure food security and as well as expand the economy of the state under the Makinde-led administration. Strengthening the Okeogun axis within the state, which is referred to as the food basket of Oyo State, became imperative for the government. With the creation of the Agribusiness Development Agency, OYSADE, there is the need to relocate its headquarters for effectiveness. Formerly known as the Oyo State Agricultural Development Program, OYSADEP, the office of the agency was moved by the previous administration from Shaki town to Ibadan. Now, the government is taking the agency to where it will fulfill its purpose of existence.
Today marks a turning point in the lives of my people, the good people of Shaki, and the entire people of Okeogun, as our hope has just been renewed in what we know and how to do best, which is agriculture. Our capacity to maintain our name as the food basket of the state has been drastically reduced ever since the death of OYSADEP. Thank you, sir, for bringing it back to life. We will make the best use of this opportunity to increase the food production in Oyo State.
With the relocation, surely there will be a socio-economic boost in Okeogun area of the state.
We have the land, we have the people, we have the expertise, and now we have the political will to ensure that this is done and is done well. And it is in this spirit that we all are aware of the fact that when we are talking about agriculture, it is not insane to mention that it is critically a work that is being done in Okeogun. It is not as if it's not being done in other areas as well, Ogumasho, Oyo, Ibaraka. Oh yes. But then in reality, we know how much of this that is coming from Okeogun. And that has made His Excellency to ensure that OYSADEP that has been almost, I wouldn't want to use the word miracle, is now going to be resuscitated back in a different form. And I realized that since 1986, that OYSADEP structure has been put in place. Not a single thing has been done with regard to all the structures since then, 34 years ago. To me, this is sad. And I think His Excellency is channeling a force in history today to ensure that this is resuscitated back 34 years.
Ilé ojú àgbẹ̀ àti ìdàgbàsókè ìgbèríko wọ́n á dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ olórí wa ni o. Ó yìí tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe fún wa o. Torí ìlérí wọn tí wọ́n ṣe òun náà mú sí fún wa.
Flagging off the construction of the new agribusiness complex, Governor Seyi Makinde stated that through the renovation and expansion of the existing facilities, the state is taking the step to reposition Okeogun as not just the food basket of Oyo State, but also as the seat of the state's agribusiness drive, which will make the economic benefits of the engagement accrue to the zone.
In April 2020, we signed the Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, Oyo Bill, into law. So that agency effectively replaces the Oyo State Agricultural Development Program of 1989. You will agree that agriculture has come a long way since the 1980s. We are now talking about agriculture as a business and not just as a developmental tool. And so, with the headquarters located here, all the economic benefits of having the headquarters will accrue to the people of Okeogun.
The journey to this part of the state was an avenue for Governor Makinde to inspect the proposed site of the State General Hospital in Shaki Town. This edifice, undergoing some renovation activities by the Makinde administration, is also to serve as a temporary isolation center within the Okeogun axis. With this 200-bedded facility, the people in the region can safely say that the Makinde administration's accessible health promise is being kept. The duty of a responsible and responsive government is to ensure the protection of lives and properties of its citizens. So it is then safe to say that a government's most important purpose is protection. With the 2006 census placing Oyo State population at about 6 million, one cannot but agree that creating a safe haven for this large population is a Herculean task. This knowledge no doubt informed the decision of Governor Seyi Makinde to have security as one of the 4 service point agenda of his administration, and from the moment he got into office, he has demonstrated that he is committed to making this work.
I would say that His Excellency is walking the talk, in the sense that as the administration came on board, the needs, a kind of a need assessment of what we would make the security outfit to be able to discharge their responsibilities without any hiccups were identified.
It has really helped us because it has boosted the morale of the personnel, and on a number of times I try to patrol the Ibadan Metropolitan and the adjoining areas at wee hours of the night. I move prudently, and I noticed that, especially with the curfew and lockdown, that the policemen at those pin down points are up and doing, and they are there. They are very visible, and they are very professional in their approach to the members of the public, which I will attribute to all this welfare package. Otherwise, some of them could have been funny, they could have been lackadaisical, and you know, they believe that they are working so much that they are being overstretched, and therefore that would be an excuse for them not to be effective at those wee hours of the night.
Over the years, Oyo State, and indeed the southwest region of Nigeria, has had its fair share of power tussle amongst transport unions. Leadership tussle has always reared its ugly head as soon as there is a change in baton at the helm of affairs in the state. So, to nip this trend in the bud, Governor Makinde, in less than 1 week after he assumed office as the executive governor of the state, took a major decision. He prescribed all activities of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW. This move paved way for the desired peace in the state, to the astonishment of all, especially the naysayers.
Those who are using the NURTW as their tools, they cannot talk to them. But this man has nothing to lose if he stops them from doing their job. Are they, the land they occupy are the garages? Is it a personal garage? It's not their personal garage. Anyone who thinks he is above the law should go and establish his own garage, buy land and establish a garage there. The government land, you cannot do what you like. Government will have to regulate. This is what the governor has done, and he has done well. I like it. I'm not in his party, but I support him 100%. The system will even help the government because revenue from there, revenue that has been hitherto in the private pocket will come into the government covers, which is something very unique. In fact, in the next 6 or 7 months, you see some states copying the same system. You will see. It's certainly okay.
Governor Makinde knew that having functional vehicles will aid the discharge of the duties of security personnel. So within the first 100 days of his administration, he purchased about 100 patrol security vehicles. The 615 toll-free line was also launched, just as modern communication equipment with capacity for statewide audio and video coverage for security was also procured to allow for easy communication, a feat that has been described by many as highly commendable. The gadget has created an avenue for security agents to communicate with one another, and the signal goes as far as the Okeogo zone in the state. This proactive measure by the Oyo State government has also assisted to resuscitate and revamp the Police Swift Response Squad, rejig Operation Burst, and strengthen visibility and domination of the security space, as well as reduce response time to distress calls.
In order to make those vehicles to work, to make them to operate very well, they were also installed with a state-of-the-art communication equipment. Because one of the results of the need analysis was the fact that they've not been able to communicate amongst the police divisions, amongst the operatives, and the state was able to procure, a modern communication equipment in terms of walkie-talkies that were installed in those vehicles. And the walkie-talkie has the capacity of audio and video. And for the first time in Oyo State, the security operatives and the outfits are able to say it's the first time that you can sit down in Ibadan as commissioner of police or as a service commander and get in touch with your team in Shaki or Kishi before I think they could get as far as Oyo and whatever. But they now have a statewide coverage, audio and video. The equipment is such that even if any of the commander is out of Oyo State, he could still monitor, do an oversight of what the patrol teams are doing in the state.
In fact, the man has surprised me. He has done well. In terms of security, people are not sleeping with their eyes closed, unlike before. However, to sustain this tempo, it's not just something on the table. They have to do some other works so that things can continue. You know, our system in Nigeria, when things are very hot, there will be positive result. But after some time, they will relax. And security issue is not like that. It's a continuous process. That you continue to add some impetus into it so that it will be perfect.
One major landmark project that this administration can be proud to showcase is the inauguration of the 2nd Police Mobile Force PMF 72 Squadron in Aguare in Okeogo Axis within the state. To boost security network and response time in the state, Governor Makinde had requested and got the approval of the Inspector General of Police to establish the PMF 72 Squadron. Today, the presence of the mobile policemen in that area has reinforced security at the border towns.
His Excellency the Governor had wisdom in him to locate the squadron in that area. Prior to that time, the place was open, that a lot of international or cross-border criminals could have been wreaking havoc and having an easy way. But with their presence there, it will serve as deterrent for people who have such intentions. So apart from being a riot control police, they are equally providing security for the people of that area, in addition to checkmating cross-border bandits.
To me, being in service before, I would consider that as a very huge achievement. So that is to say, you can have a rat axis, a kind of coverage that will complement with the customs, the immigration, and the military base at Shaki to give a kind of security coverage to that axis. And the way it is spread is each of the major towns in Okeogun, they now spread the units around that place. That is a very huge achievement.
That Okeogun axis is too open and security breach can come from there. But with the presence of those people there, I think we are getting it. We are getting it right. However, they should monitor them. Monitoring is very important. They can't leave them just like that. They should monitor them, set up some people to monitor them. People that may not even be known by any other person, but government will know them.
The increasing wanton acts of violence, killings, destruction of farmlands and raping of women triggered Southwest governors on January 7, 2020 to inaugurate Operation Amotekun, a security strategy pressure designed to fight kidnapping and killings in the communities by Fulani herdsmen. The launch of the Southwestern Security Network, codenamed Amotekun, took place in Ibadan, with Governor Seyi Makinde playing host to other governors. Today, after passing through the required processes in all the houses of assembly, the aim of setting up Amotekun for the protection of lives and property of the people by the Southwest governors, no doubt, will serve its purpose. The recent launch of another security architecture, the Oyo State City Watch Project, and the Crime Alert platform is a clear indication that Governor Makinde is a leader by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. Commissioning the expanded and refurbished State Security Control Room, the City Watch Project and the Oyo State Crime Alert platform, located inside the Oyo State Security Trust Fund office at Onireke, Ibadan. Governor Makinde said the project will help tackle insecurity in the nooks and crannies of the state.
It's going to be well utilized, and I look forward to us working together to expand this, to have other points, to far-flung places in the Oyo State, and also having the capacity to respond, in a very timely manner to all kinds of criminal activities.
The launch of the City Watch Project and Crime Alert platform has received commendation from security personnel as well as the residents and people of Oyo State. They say this will go a long way in reducing crime rate in the state.
We have about 10 locations on board now. We've been able to cover the Ibadan, Osun axis through Hashijire. We've been able to also connect the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway through the toll gate. More and more cameras are supposed to come on board to cover the whole state through an integrated system. But at least we've been able to get these things working now to the extent that if they say something is happening in a road now, you can sit down in the control room consult and see, oh, this is what is happening, with the capacity to even zoom the camera to capture number plates. It's not just for the advantage of crime prevention or crime control. It also helps in traffic management.
It is a way of helping the police. There is no way police, even though they are the lead security agency, can do it alone. So with that, I have always emphasized on assumption of office. that we need to partner with the community, and we need to build confidence and trust with them. With that, we will get quality and credible information and intelligence, and it will help us a lot to continue to prune down the crime rates.
Our governor is really trying, but what I want to say on is that he should put in more effort so that he can achieve his aim on security matters in Oyo State.
Very, very okay. We pray for more encouragement. They should continue to do better than they are doing now.
With these achievements in just 1 year, no doubt the government of Seyi Makinde places high premium on the safety of its citizens and residents in the state. But as government continues to play its part in ensuring that the citizens are safe, it is pertinent for all to know that joining hands with government and security agencies is the surest way to stay safe.